It's crunch time for high school students. They're trying to get into their top choices for college. Many students have great grades. You know, they've polished written applications, but what they lack is communication skills. So Greenwich authors of College Interview Essentials, I love this title. So you think you can interview? Peggy Marks and Kyrie O'Connor are joining me now. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Well, thanks for coming in, and hopefully parents of millennials or even millennials, if they're homesick from school or something, they're watching right now. They're so good at texting. They can text, you know, all of us out of you know, whatever competition we might be in with them. And the problem is they can't talk. They can't interview, and they may not even think this is important. And you both noticed this.
Right. Well, Peggy and I headed up a large university college alumni interviewing group, and we did it for more than 15 years, and we really noticed over the last, let's say, couple of years that their interview skills really started to decline. And we associated it with their influence by texting and electronic media, and the art of verbal communication really seems to be declining.
What things did you notice? What weren't they doing?
Okay, so for example, they didn't investigate the school, so they really didn't have detailed responses to our questions. They didn't have eye contact. They didn't lean into the interview as you're doing right now. They didn't respond. It wasn't a communication. It was more of an interrogation. We kept asking questions, and there would be very short answers that really weren't elaborated on.
Monosyllabic, just like texting.
Right.
Got it.
So,
and you can't talk that way. It gives you away right away. And
you can't have a dialogue, you can't have a conversation, and that's what you need to communicate in your interview.
And if they said to you, you know, well, is the interview really that important? I mean, everything else is so good, but it could be make or break, couldn't it?
Yes.
Well, the key is that the interviewer presents a write-up to the admissions committee once they've completed the interview. That write-up is part of your admissions file. So when they review all candidates, if you gave them a reason to say no and you didn't have a stellar interview, who do you think is going to be among the first candidates who's going to be put on the deny pile?
Yeah, that's right.
So we do not want to give the colleges a reason to say no.
Let's give some tips and help these millennials then. All right, first of all, you say do your homework.
Exactly. Know your school. Know why you want to go there. The most important reason is, why do you want to go to that school? And a lot of students look at you like, oh my goodness, I really don't know. And because they're applying to so many schools.
You got to know that answer at least.
That's right.
Goodness
so that's a critical one.
All right, and then also know your strengths. You know, often, you know, if you're asked that question, people can't answer that one, even adults when they're asked that in an interview. You know, be able to know your strengths and be able to say them.
We work with students on what are the 4 things that are really critical to communicate, because as an interviewer, you're getting a lot of information, and it's important that you focus on the 4 things that really differentiate you from other students and other candidates they might be interviewing.
And we want to make sure that each candidate is totally prepared before they go in for their college interview. They need to know as much as possible about the school to which they're applying, and they need to know what they want to communicate to the interviewer before the interview takes place, not just respond to questions.
And all of that is in this book. It's a great book. Check it out. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Hopefully we got them back on track here.
Thank you so much.
All right.